Hey MzeroA Nation, Jason here. Day 20 of the 31-Day Safer Pilot Challenge. I hate good examples of bad decision making. But that's what we have here today with Air France Flight 296, the first fatal, really the first accident of the A320. And I want to read to you, I know many of you already pre-ordered Aviation Mastery, the book. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into it. Deep into the book, this is page 135 in my rough draft. It's probably going to be a different page. We've added so much to it since then. I'm going to read from literally edition 1. You can see the rough draft of Aviation Mastery, the book here. And I want to read to you from the book, story time with Jason, I guess, what's in there about Flight 296 to really illustrate this story. Cockpit technology can prove to be a pilot's best friend or worst enemy. Such is the case of Air France Flight 296, the first fatal A320 accident. On June 26, 1988, the fifth A320 off the line was operated by Air France as Flight 296. It was chartered by a local aero club to demonstrate the new A320 at their air show, and then from there it was scheduled to fly on to Mont Blanc to give passengers a scenic tour of the Alps. Flying the A320 were two very senior Air France pilots with combined hours exceeding 21,000 flight hours. Both pilots were in charge of the A320 integration into Air France's fleet and eager to demonstrate the newest technology in such a public way. The pilots reviewed their strategy for the first low pass over the air show. Their goal was to fly as slow as possible. Can you see the chain of events of an accident? When your goal is to fly an airplane as slow as possible, an A320, you get that. The goal was to fly the airplane as slow as possible and demonstrate the aircraft's new envelope protection system. For this to happen, they were to lower the gear, add full flaps, bring the throttles back to idle, and bring the nose up to a rotation attitude. From here, the A320 would enter into Alpha Prot, which is Airbus's first of the 3 high angle of attack gates. From there, the envelope protection system would lower the nose automatically. However, our pilots wouldn't give the A320 the chance. They chose instead to override it, holding the control stick back, taking it to its next angle of attack gate, Alpha Floor. At which point the A320 would automatically throttle up to full power. Yet for the sake of the demonstration, the pilots really wanted to show what the airplane was really capable of. So they disabled the auto throttle functionality. The intention was to pass the true limit, Alpha Max, hanging on the brink of a stall, just 100 feet above the ground, all to show off to the air show goers and those who paid good money to be on the first flight. Now, this idea came from when the pilot had flown the aircraft empty and at altitude, noticing how well it flew on the edge of a stall. Forgetting this time he would be fully loaded and at just 100 feet AGL. "Be careful of the pylons," a nervous co-pilot said to his captain, whose nickname at Air France was Rambo. Not a nickname you want to have in aviation. The captain entered his maneuver in front of the 15,000 spectators, slowed the A320 to a mere 111 knots, holding the aircraft on the brink of a stall. However, with the nose so high, neither the captain nor co-pilot were able to see what was in front of them. As the co-pilot stretched his neck to see, he shouted, "Toga," shorthand for takeoff and go around. A polite way of saying, "Let's get out of here." Yet the captain held the altitude of just 30 feet AGL and his nose high attitude, forgetting the big A320 engines take 8 seconds to spool up to 100%. Air France 296 entered a controlled crash into a wooded area just off the end of the runway. Technology like envelope protection, glass panels, tablets, iPads can be the greatest blessing or the biggest distraction in the cockpit. However, we must use technology as it's intended. Air France 296 perfectly demonstrates an amazing technology that was used for all the wrong purposes. You see, we can put the G1000 screens in front of you. We can equip you with the greatest and latest from Avidyne. We can make sure we have ForeFlight and all the latest and greatest iPad apps in front of us. But they can either serve us or they can distract us. They can serve us or we can rely entirely too heavily on them. And when the screen goes black, we have no idea what to do. Or we can abuse the power of them and lean way too heavily on these systems as well. Technology is meant to serve us, not to jail us. And so often we put ourselves in these predicaments and use the same things that were created for our good, and we use them for negative. That is true in so many other aspects beyond aviation in our personal lives and business lives, isn't it? I share all this to say that you have to use the cockpit technology as it's intended. And inside Aviation Mastery, the book, I have an entire chapter. This is the opening story from it on how to properly use technology in the cockpit. And then we break it out in some URLs so you can see the videos and see how we actually do and explain each of these. I hope you've already pre-ordered your copy, aviationmastery.com. We'll be shipping here soon as well. Very excited. I'm literally putting the finishing touches on the book now before it heads out to publishing. And all the proceeds, by the way, they don't go to me. They don't even go to MzeroA. They go straight to the foundation, straight to aspiring and inspiring the next generation of aviators through youth aviation programs. What do you think in the comments below this video? Macho hazardous attitudes, using technology the wrong way. What are some other factors in this accident? I can't wait to read your comments below this video on YouTube, on Facebook, on MzeroA.com. Have an amazing, wonderful, blessed day, and most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you.